in their first action of the postseason for the second year in a row. Here's the Royals starting lineup brought to you by Cologuard. See more information at Cologuard.com. Just one change today with Hunter Renfroe in the lineup in batting seventh in right field. Yesterday it was Tommy Pham in right field for the Royals. And Zach Eflin on the mound came over at the deadline from Tampa Bay, where he made 19 starts. His ERA much better in the 9 outings for the Orioles.
Yeah, with the Orioles, he's been outstanding. I mean, you talk about 7 of his 9 starts have been quality starts for the Orioles. Of course, he is simply one of the best, if not the best, strike thrower in the game of baseball. 134 punch-outs on the year, only 24 walks.
And 5 of those in his last outing against the Yankees, which was a big surprise. His first pitch is a strike to Michael Massey, the second baseman. Eflin, big right-hander, 6'6", 220. And this pitch is fouled away down the right field line. 69 degrees at game time. First pitch at 4:38, right on time. Another cloudy and rainy day here in Baltimore, but as the day went along, like yesterday, the rain has subsided. Hope you have a raincoat and an umbrella, Ben. Living here much of the year as you do, this is 12 straight days with rain in this city.
What's going on around here, huh? We hadn't seen the sun in a while.
Massey at 259, one of his 14 homers this year came against Eflin when he was a Tampa Bay Ray. That was on July 4th in Kansas City. That was his only appearance against the Royals this year. And even though he didn't pitch very well, he wound up getting the win in a 10-8 Tampa Bay victory. They scored 5 earned runs in 5 innings against him. That one's close, but a ball. Ben May is the home plate umpire this afternoon.
Yeah, you're going to see a 2 and a 4 seam fastball. That's the curveball right there, as it just misses the bottom of the zone. Little cutter, little sweeping slider, and a changeup as well for Eflin.
His 2-2 pitch hit on the ground down to first. Fair ball and out of the reach of Ryan Mountcastle. Into the right field corner, played there by Anthony Santander. And it's a leadoff double to open the game from Massey.
2 days in a row. Leadoff hits. Michael Massey got a hit yesterday, and this one a double. This is a changeup, 2 strikes. Love how the barrel just follows the pitch. This changeup moving down and in to the barrel does a great job keeping this barely fair. You're talking a couple inches. Big hit. We saw very few yesterday.
That's their first extra base hit. They won yesterday with 5 singles. So here's Bobby Witt Jr., who drove in the run yesterday. His postseason debut, hits a ground ball to second. That'll move the runner along. Jordan Westburg.
Well, I tell you what, how about that swing? And you could see the approach by Bobby Witt Jr. This is how, what I call HWA, how to win awareness. How do you win a ball game? Well, lead off double, find a way to get a ground ball to the right side to push that runner to third base. And watch this swing by Bobby Witt. Just inside out swing on a ball in the inside part of the plate, because he knows he's got to get a ball to the right side. He accomplishes that. Runner at third base, less than 2 out. Orioles will bring the infield in.
Selfless.
Kind of thing the Royals didn't do well last year. They've done very well this year, including hit with men in scoring position. Vinny Pasquantino fouled the first pitch away. He returned yesterday for the first time since late August when he fractured his thumb and had surgery. Still has a plate and screws in his thumb. 0 for 3 with a walk yesterday. Ground ball and a base hit. And the Royals jump right out with a 1-0 lead. Pasquantino. Boy, did they miss him in the month of September when they hit just .204. Worst in Major League Baseball.
And this is so impressive. I mean, he's had maybe like 7 live swings since coming back from that surgery. He's only got 4 fingers on that bottom hand of the bat. That fractured right thumb still got a plate and pins in it. He just finds a way. Infield pulled in. Gets a runner in here in the first.
And they immediately quiet the crowd. Salvador Perez chops one foul. All-star catcher again this year for the 9th time. Hit 27 home runs and drove in 104. Second most RBIs of his career at the age of 34. He fouls one back to the screen. Pasquantino, despite missing the last month of the regular season, still finished the year with 26 go-ahead runs batted in, which was 4th in the American League. Aaron Judge led with 32. He hit .360 with runners in scoring position, 3rd in the majors. And he just did it again, waving, swing and a miss, and a breaking ball away. And Eflin has his first strikeout of the afternoon.
Yeah, that's a sweeper. And watch this ball. Got a lot of horizontal in it, so a lot of right to left in it. And one thing the Orioles did when they picked up Zach Eflin, they kind of changed his repertoire a little bit. They cut down his fastball usage, so the fastball usage is down about 10 or 11%. And what they added was a few more cutters and a few more changeups. So he's kind of changed what he's done over the years when he was with Tampa.
Working out of the stretch, the Central Florida native misses down and away to Yuli Gurriel, the first baseman again today, playing in his 88th career postseason game. That's 55 more than anybody else on either team. Perez is next. The Orioles don't have a player who's played in more than 14 playoff games. A strike dropped in, and it's a ball and a strike on Gurriel. Appearing in the postseason for the 8th year in a row. Takes a fastball inside.
I wish there was an assist stat for baseball like you see in basketball, because Bobby Witt Jr. moving the runner over Massey to third base is why the infield was in, is why Pasquantino was able to get that base hit through.
And you can see where Eflin was trying to pitch him in to make him pull the ball so the runner couldn't advance. Yes. But Bobby Witt was just better. An inside-out swing and just kind of shoves it to the backside of the field.
Gurriel takes a strike. He spent most of the year in the Braves minor leagues, came over on August 31st in a trade, got into 18 regular season games with Kansas City. The crowd trying to help Eflin out of the inning. The count is full with 2 outs. Pasquantino will be on the run from first. Then he runs, and the pitch is slashed foul out of play down the right field line.
That's one thing you're going to see with these two pitchers today. Zach Eflin and, of course, Seth Lugo. There are no such thing as fastball counts. I mean, both of these guys will use just about any pitch in any situation.
Another 3-2 pitch. The shortstop Gunnar Henderson backhands, and a nice backhanded dig on a one-off throw by Ryan Mountcastle to end the inning. But the Royals with more small ball. Bobby Witt Jr. moved the runner along.
How about Mountcastle overplayed? Picks it right off the dirt on the back end to get the Orioles up off the field. The Royals up 1-0 in this one.
Back in Baltimore, 1-0 Kansas City. The Orioles lineup brought to you by Cologuard. See more information at Cologuard.com. It's a Baltimore team that leans heavily on the long ball. They have 235 home runs. Only the Yankees hit more, and it starts right at the top of the lineup with Gunnar Henderson, who hit 37, leading all shortstops in Major League Baseball. They'll take their swings against Seth Lugo, the 34-year-old veteran who's had the best season of his career.
I tell you what, think about this. 2 years ago, he was with the New York Mets. 62 appearances, all of them out of the bullpen. He's gone from that to this year to where nobody in Major League Baseball has more starts than that guy right there just 2 years later. See, 206 innings pitched on a year. That's the second most in baseball. Tied for third in wins. And, of course, the ERA outstanding, 10th best in Major League Baseball.
His first pitch hit in the air by Gunnar Henderson. Kyle Isbell drifts over to left center and makes the catch. So Henderson retired on one pitch. Let's go to Jeff Passan. This segment might take a while if, Jeff, you're going to tell us about all the pitches Lugo throws.
Yeah, Sean, that was a 4-seam fastball. You are likely today to see 8 other pitches from Seth Lugo, a four-seamer, a two-seamer, a cutter, a sweeper, a slurve, a gyro slider, a changeup, a splitter, a curveball that he throws with 2 different grips. So if you ask him, he actually throws 12 or 13 different pitches. Nobody embodies modern baseball where all you've got to do is tweak your grip and get in front of a machine and it can tell you what kind of pitch you're throwing better than Seth Lugo.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
StatCast is powered by Google Cloud. He works very quickly, and that has to be hard to do. How do you decide with all those pitches what to throw in a very short period of time? The pitch runs inside to Jordan Westberg and just missed him.
He likes to call his own game too. So when you're looking at the little video game switch he's got in his belt a lot of times, I mean, there's going to be...
There's no way there's that many buttons on that thing, is it?
So you're going to have to help me identify which of the 9 or 12 pitches these are as they go up there, and the scoreboard says that was the slider.
Well, one thing I can tell you about Seth Lugo, when you talk about spin rates, he's an analytical darling. He can spin it. His curveball, folks, is the #1 spin curveball in all of Major League Baseball.
Throws a high, hard one, a fastball at 93 to Westberg, and it's a full count.
And this is what he can do to you. He can lull you to sleep with a lot of different off-speed pitches, but what he does have in his back pocket is a fastball that he can reach back and give you 94 or 95.
Westberg hit by that pitch, shaking his left hand as he starts down the line. The Royals think it hit the bat. They fielded the ball and tagged Westberg just in case, but Ben May saying, no, it is a hit by pitch. And Westberg walks down to first in obvious distress.
Well, don't forget now, Westberg just came back for the Orioles. He was hit very similar to that right there, and he broke his hand and missed a lot of time for the Orioles. It looks like it's on the exact same hand, almost to me, in the exact same spot he was hit before.
Very close to hitting the knob of the bat. You saw Matt Tuero, the Royals manager, getting his folks on the phone to the replay people. They're not going to challenge it. And if Westberg's faking it, he's doing an excellent job of it. He went on the 15-day injured list back on September 22nd. Or returned, I should say, on September 22nd after he was hit by a pitch against Toronto on the last day of July. So he missed almost 2 months.
Different hand.
Yeah, that might be. Yeah, that was the bottom hand, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
And he got hit in the right hand.
Okay. Big say if he got hit in the same spot, there's no way he stayed in the game because he just came back.
Still, you can see the frustration.
Well, Westberg is at first. It's 1-0 Royals, bottom of the first. And here's Anthony Santander. Sends one back to the screen. 44 home runs in the regular season for Santander. Best season of his career. 102 ribbies, also a career high at age 29.
Yeah, in a walk year, right? Free agent at the end of the year.
First Oriole to drive in 100 since 2017. He's hit 105 homers since the start of 2022. Only Aaron Judge has hit more in the American League. And a lot more, 157.
Yeah, those are video game numbers. Talk about Aaron Judge. Santander, you look at the batting average, it's not great. Pretty much big league average, 235, but a lot of huge base hits for the Orioles this year.
Hoping for another. That one just missed a little bit low. They claimed the pull in the infield. They claimed the opposite field in the outfield.
Look at how far Hunter Renfroe's in right center field.
That one's just inside. Lugo can dial up the double play ball. He got the opponents to hit into 18 this season. Third most in the American League, and Framber Valdez and Jose Barrios.
Yeah, neither one of these teams hit into a lot of double plays. The Orioles have hit into the fewest double plays in Major League Baseball, and the Royals the 7th fewest double plays.
Brandon Hyde hoping his team can come up with the clutch hits today. Unable to do it yesterday against 4 Royals pitchers, and Santander strikes out on a high fastball at 95.
Well, that's kind of what we're talking about right there. Seth Lugo, you're going to see a lot of change-ups, cutters, breaking balls, but he can reach back in that lunch pail of his, and he can give you a little bit extra every now and then. He'll take that 4-seam fastball and ride it just above the top of the zone. That is well done right there by Lugo.
Pitching now to Colton Cowser, who's moved up to the cleanup spot today. Hit 6th yesterday, had 1 of their 5 hits yesterday. And he takes a strike. He led all rookies with 24 home runs this season. 1 of those was against Seth Lugo. In Lugo's only appearance against Baltimore back on April 21st. And that was one of his worst outings of the year. Lugo in that one went 5 1/3 and gave up 4 runs, 9 hits, 2 home runs, and suffered his first loss of the season.
The Orioles had a pretty good approach against Lugo that day. Now, he left some balls, and that's what you heard Brandon Hyde say when we talked to him. He left some balls in the heart of the plate, and the Orioles took advantage of it.
Backdoor breaking ball missed. Lugo took a half step toward the dugout, didn't get the call. Ben May, the home plate umpire, rather. Nick Lentz at first, Bill Miller, the crew chief, at second, David Rackley at third, Malachi Moore, the left field line umpire, and Ryan Additon down the right field line. Westberg back to first. He stole 6 in the regular year, was thrown out 3 times. Word of advice from Anthony Sanders, their first base coach. Tony Mansolino coaches third for Baltimore. Swing and a miss. Cowser goes down on a changeup away. Back-to-back strikeouts to end the inning. After 1, Kansas City 1 and Baltimore nothing. Welcome back to the 2024 Wild Card Series presented by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet. Get internet how you want it. Orioles have lost 9 consecutive postseason games, back a decade, the longest active such streak in Major League Baseball, the longest in franchise history, and tied for the 2nd longest in this century. Only 5 Major League teams all time have lost 10 straight postseason games. They're trying not to join that group. They're down 1-0 as Zach Eflin fires a strike on the outside corner to M.J. Melendez, the left fielder, who had 206 in the regular season. 17 homers, 44 runs batted in. 32 of those runs batted in came on home runs. So they drove in 12 runs all year that didn't come on a home run.
He's streaky throughout the year. You mentioned his batting average, but he had streaks where he was red hot. One of those hit well with runners in scoring position.
Fouls one at home plate. He was 0 for 3 yesterday.
The irony for Melendez, his biggest story was the improvement defensively. He was literally the worst defensive outfielder by defensive runs saved. And of course, in yesterday's game, he had that huge misplay, even though he had played such a better left field this year.
The average down from last season when he spent the whole year in the major leagues and hit .235. Eflin's 2-2. He swung on and missed, and that's the second strikeout for Eflin. Please say good afternoon to Kevin Connors.
Sean McDonough, good afternoon to you. High drama in Houston. Bottom 7, 1-1 game. Bases loaded. Jose Altuve to right field. Xavier Scruggs, what did you see from Matt Vierling?
Yeah, little hesitation when he came in. Didn't maybe expect Jeremy Pena to tag up from third base. A really nice job of base running.
And then Ryan Presley, a wild pitch. Sean, they're even on ABC.
With Houston facing elimination, Astros lost game 1 yesterday. They had won 10 straight postseason game 1s of series, but they ran into Tarek Skubal.
Oh, I mean, he was just ridiculous. And the emotions that Tarek Skubal had in that game yesterday, that's what stood out more than even the stuff. I mean, he was commanding the zone. A lot like both these starting pitchers in this one.
Hunter Renfroe, newcomer to the starting lineup, took the place today of Tommy Pham. Good numbers in his career against Eflin. 5 for 13 lifetime, including 2 for 3 in that game on July 4th that we referenced earlier.
He homered against the changeup.
Didn't get to that off-speed pitch. Interesting talking to Matt Quintero about why Renfroe today, and it's really all about today's baseball.
Yes.
The explanation.
Getting the pitch in the zone, not chasing.
And he pops it back. And I particularly appreciate the part about, well, we have so much information and we feel like Renfroe's better against the pitch shapes that he's likely to see today from Eflin than Pham would be.
Well, if you look at the career numbers too, I mean, Renfroe 5 for 13 career off Eflin, so he's seen him a lot, got a lot better numbers than what Pham does.
A lot of slug. I mean,
Yeah.
that's for a team that doesn't have a lot of slug. Renfroe does. If you're talking about matchup shape, it's exactly what Renfroe they're hoping can run into one.
In 15 homers in the regular season. Played in just 120 games, had a couple of stints on the disabled list, injured list.
One of those 5 hits off Eflin for Renfroe did leave the yard.
7th pitch of the at-bat, 1-0 Royals, second inning, a win, and they advance to take on the Yankees in the division series. The ball low and away from Zach Eflin.
3-2. Timeout.
Matt Quintero in his second season as manager of the Royals. 30 wins improvement, 56 last season, 86 this year. By far the most improved team in Major League Baseball this season. Pitch is close, but a ball. I was surprised looking at those numbers. Second most improved was Oakland at plus 19. Eligible Capital One rewards card holders. You can redeem your rewards for tickets to the MLB postseason on Capital One Entertainment. Visit CapitalOne.com/entertainment for more information. What's in your wallet? Could be a couple of tickets.
Should be doing ads all day, Sean.
Oh, you know. Settle for the tickets. So Renfroe aboard. The rare walk thrown by Eflin. Kyle Isbell, the hitter. Number 8 hitter again today. 0 for 3 yesterday.
One things I'm watching from Eflin today, and you mentioned it earlier, Sean. I mean, he had a career high 5 walks Eflin did his last time out. That was not like him to do that. 5 walks and only 1 strikeout. So mechanically, how sound is he going to be today? And look, he's a big guy. He's 6'6", and you get a little bit out of whack. I can relate to that. When you're that long with those levers, you get a little bit out of whack over the rubber. It can be a lot out of whack by the time it gets to home plate.
The average is 1.3 walks per 9 innings, second fewest in the American League. That's a double play ball hit to Henderson. He went to second base himself. Apparently Westberg not close enough to turn 2, 6-4-3, and Isbell runs pretty well, but off the bat it certainly looked like the kind you'd hope to get to turn 2.
Yeah, I mean, look where Westberg is. Top right of your screen right there. So he swung way over. There is no way he has time to get to the bag. So it's up to Gunnar Henderson, and it's a foot race to second base in that one. And now we see that a lot today, but you know, with these little shifts going on, and obviously you can't shift over. You got to have 2 on each side of second base today, but there was no way to turn a traditional double play there.
And that's true, and you see that again and again. Mikel Garcia, the hitter, he scored the only run yesterday in their 1-0 win. You know, the shifts might take hits away from time to time, but they also sometimes cost you the chance at a double play.
100%. But in the analytical world we play in now, with all the data that we have, you talk to analytical people and they'll tell you, obviously didn't pay off for the Orioles that time, but more times than not, when they shift like that, they come out on the plus
side.
If
you were pitching, how would you feel about that?
I'd be very upset right now because I made the pitch that I needed to make to turn a ground ball double play, and yet there's nobody at second base.
Throw to first to check on Isbell, a good runner, 11 stolen bases and 13 tries. They want to run. That's how they score. That's how they won the game yesterday. A walk, a stolen base, a get them over out, and a clutch hit by Bobby Witt Jr. The same formula to get off to a 1-0 lead today. Isbell is running. Garcia hits a ground ball to short. Henderson throws him out. The Royals strand a runner. They've left 2. Through an inning and a half, it's 1-0 Kansas City here in Baltimore.
Don't want to miss a postseason game? Just tell Siri. Show me the upcoming MLB schedule.
And your wishes are at command. The wild card round continues tonight. Mets and Brewers at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. Braves Padres at 8:30 on ESPN2. Both games on ESPN Deportes and the app. Michael King for the Padres. Last night, 12 strikeouts. There were some beautifully pitched games. Game ones yesterday around this wild card round. Adley Rutschman, the batter. 250 for the regular season, but 207 post All-Star break. We talked to Brandon Hyde. He said, there's one guy we really need to get going. It's him.
He's their leader from last year. I mean, you think about Adley Rutschman and how everyone has relied, and he's felt that pressure. But you look at his numbers through June and then his numbers since. It has been a huge drop-off, and he has felt that pressure. And right there, takes like that pitch. In fact, Brandon Hyde told us 2-0. He had an opportunity yesterday on a fastball down in the zone. He gets another one there, 2-0, where he's still taking.
They're trying to get him to be a little bit more aggressive at home plate and attack the first pitches and attack the first ball. But that's a perfect example of kind of where Rutsch has been to me the second half of the season. Takes a good fastball down the heart and then swings at a marginal pitch, a breaking ball that's not even a strike or close to being one. And he's a guy that had so much success last year and even the first part of this year. He didn't mind hitting with 2 strikes, okay? So he would take a lot of first pitches because he could still do his thing and spray the ball around the field. But it feels like the second half of the season he's been taking a little bit too many first pitch strikes.
Hits that in the air pretty well. Isbell drifting back and casually makes the catch just shy of the warning track. A long first out. Once again, here's Kevin.
All right, Sean, 4 in the 8th inning, and the Tigers have taken command in Houston. This is pinch hitter Andy Ibanez.
Yeah, A.J. Hinch said go up there and face one of the game's best closers. And what he did, 105 off the bat, doubled down the line and cleared everybody and brought everybody to the crib.
The Tigers a 5-2 lead, Sean. Bottom 8 on ABC.
Wow. That's been the way it's gone typically here in this wild card round the last couple of years. Teams that win the first game tend to win the series, and usually in a sweep. Bounding ball, not well hit, but a base hit for the former Kansas City Royal, Ryan O'Hearn. A single into center. The first hit of the game for Baltimore, and just their 6th in a game plus in this series.
Nice drop ball down in the zone, drives us up the middle, and this is what you're seeing from the guys who have found hits. It's just simplifying the swing. The home run swings we've seen from Baltimore throughout the season. You're seeing a lot of guys try to shorten up, just put the ball in play.
So Hearn aboard. He's the DH today. Here's Ryan Mountcastle. Swing and a miss, facing Seth Lugo. Mountcastle 0 for 3, struck out a couple of times yesterday. The Royals got a 1-0 shutout. 4 pitchers combined to limit the Orioles to 5 hits and no runs, and all 4 of them making their postseason debut.
Well,
Reagan, Sam Long, Al Bubich, and Lucas Ursa.
Yeah, I mean, the pitchers absolutely dominated the day yesterday.
Down the right field line and foul.
I mean, what was there? A total of 21 runs scored, only 2 total home runs hit in all 4 games. I mean, the pitchers absolutely dominated yesterday.
Cole Reagans and Corbin Burns here. Burns terrific in 8 innings plus, but took the loss on that 1 run. The Royals managed to get across in the 6th inning. One ball and 2 strikes on Mountcastle. O'Hearn held by Gurriel. And that one's a little bit low. Outfield gives Mountcastle a lot of room in left center. He chops that one foul past the Royals dugout on the 3rd base side.
Seth Lugo born in Shreveport, Louisiana. How about that? We were talking about that before the game.
Centenary, the school that produced Robert Parrish.
One of your favorite basketball players.
The Chief. Hail to the Chief. Swing and a miss, and a breaking ball away.
There's no crying in baseball or with the Capital One Venture Card because it lets you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day. Let's play ball.
Two outs, so Hearn still at first. Here's Cedric Mullins trying to butt his way on, and it's going to go foul down the third base line.
Oh, that was almost a beautiful, he went drag bunt. I mean, this is just a couple inches getting the right roll for the Royals to go foul, because this is a base hit all the way. I mean, just look at the skill set and being able to deaden this ball. Gets it a little bit back behind him, but this is what we're going to see. So we talked about the pitching dominance yesterday, just finding a way to get on base. Mullins with the speed, thinking about it there.
Yeah, and he had a good day yesterday. 2 for 3 day yesterday. Ball off. Just missed a homer to right field.
On his birthday.
Yeah. Then picked up just a regular single straightaway center field. So a good day for him yesterday. Orioles only had 5 base hits, and Mullins had 2 of them.
Productive year, 18 homers, 32 steals. Fouls one back in this direction. Second most homers he's hit in his career. He had 30 back in 2021.
Yeah, that was the year he became the first Oriole ever to have a 30-30 season. He is the only one.
Was 0 for 12 career in the postseason before those 2 hits yesterday. Swing and a miss. And 2 more strikeouts for Lugo. He's fanned 4 through the first 2 innings. Royals lead 1-0. Bobby Witt Jr. will hit second when we go to the top of the third. Back in Baltimore, Michael Massey about to lead off for the Royals. Bobby Witt Jr. to hit second. You'll not be shocked to know his dad is Bobby Witt, who was a very fine pitcher in the major leagues for 16 years. 7 different teams. First pitch to Massey is a strike. And Bobby Witt Sr. finished his career with the Arizona Diamondbacks in 2001. You saw 16-month-old Bobby Witt Jr. When Bobby Witt Jr. came up to the Royals, he met the legendary vice president of the Royals, Mike Swanson, who was with the Diamondbacks when they won that World Series in 2001. And Swanee said, "We've already met." It was when he was 16 months old. Wow. With his dad with the World Series trophy. Speaking of Mike Swanson, who retired not long ago after a long run in Major League Baseball, they renamed, the baseball writers of Kansas City did, the Good Guy Award the Mike Swanson Good Guy Award, and nothing could be more fitting. Swanee, one of the great guys in the game for a long time, and Michael Massey must be a really good guy because he's won it 2 years in a row.
Yes.
As voted by the media. He doubled and scored the only run of this game, leading off. Pitch down the first base line past the diving Ryan Mountcastle. Zach Eflin pitching for Baltimore, giving up 2 hits and 1 walk, 1 time through the batting order. Witt Jr. and then Pasquantino. In the hole on the right, gobbled up by Jordan Westburn. Let's go down to the field to Jeff Passan.
In the aftermath of the Royals clinching, Sean, Bobby Witt Jr. was found with a couple of Bud Heavies in his goggles, a cigar in his mouth, and a shirt that said October Ready. He told Annie Rogers, the great beat writer from MLB.com, that when he was younger, he loved that shirt. He said, "I saw the pictures, I bought the shirts. Now," he said, "I'm in the pictures and I have the shirt."
Barely old enough to have the beard, 24 years old. Astounding what he's accomplished already.
He talked about too, just like remembering being, you know, that kid, which we laugh now is just a few years ago, but watching Dustin Pedroia, Derek Jeter, those were his 2 dudes. He used to wear 17 when he was a kid, those 2 numbers combined.
And a base hit in the left field, played back in by Cowser, taking nothing for granted. Witt runs hard always. And any kind of misplay, he was poised to try to go to second base.
Almost exactly the same, Sean, as the hit that he had yesterday. The RBI single, you see the cutter just kind of hangs up a little bit over the middle part of the plate, and that's when Bobby Witt Jr. will take advantage.
Jess, when I watch him hit, I mean, he's a pitcher's nightmare because there's no wasted movement, right? He just gets his foot down really simple, and he gets it down quick, and his hands are as fast as anybody. You try to get him on the inside part of the plate, and he can find a way to get the barrel to it.
And he'll try to run and get in scoring position. Vinny Pasquantino took ball one low. He drove in. The only run so far today with a single to right. Scored Massey from third base. He hits a bomb, but way foul down the right field line. Witt Jr. stole 31 in the regular season. His second consecutive 30-30 year. Only 8 players in Major League Baseball now have done that. He's the first shortstop to do it. And he's the only player of the 8 to do it before he was 25 years old.
Now, look, in all 3 of his years, he stole 30 or more bases, too. Just so happened the last 2 years, it's been 30-30. But he stole 30 his rookie year as well. I mean, so he is just a nightmare.
They stole 49 last year. That number came down a bit.
I mean, when you talk about sprint speed in Major League Baseball, he is number 1. 30.5 feet per second is what he covers.
Got a pretty good lead. Eflin checked on him. He was thrown out trying to steal yesterday. He's caught stealing 12 times in the regular year.
Big league average around 27 feet per second.
I was going to ask you to put that in some context.
Yeah, 27 feet is about, and then you start getting above 29, that begins to be elite, and he's above 30.
2 throws to first to check on him. Not running on this pitch, and Pasquantino takes one wide.
Are you seeing Zach Eflin? His last start, he had 5 walks against the Yankees.
Yes.
And this one, you're seeing kind of more misses. Like he's nibbling more. This is a guy who doesn't walk a whole lot.
I don't think his mechanics are all the way back to say where it was 4 or 5 starts with the Orioles. He was way out of whack against the Yankees.
Waving swing at a high pitch, throw down to first, not in time. Pasquantino strikes out, and that's 3 Ks for the 30-year-old Zach Eflin.
Yeah, Zach Eflin likes to live with that 2-seam fastball, but every now and then he'll do that right there. He'll grab that 4-seamer, that cross-seamer, and he'll ride it up above the top of the zone just to change the eye level. That was well done by Eflin.
He won 16 last season in his only full season with Tampa Bay. And tied for the American League lead. There's a little flare that's going to fall in left center. A hit for Salvador Perez, and Witt all the way to third. Off with the contact with 2 outs.
Salvi just so aggressive. That's what you see from him. He had struck out on the sweeper, so he wants to see something hard and in. He just gets it off the hands enough. Such a strong dude. Finds grass. That's all you need for Bobby Witt Jr. They had another pitch. I think Witt Jr. would have stolen second base and ended up scoring on this, but ends up getting first to third very quick.
Drew French, the pitching coach, going to the mound. He spoke with Brandon Hyde before the game, the Baltimore manager. We asked him, facing elimination, do you manage differently? And he said, yes, you do. Part of that is likely having a shorter hook with a starting pitcher if you feel like he is scuffling.
Yeah, I mean, he made the point to say only Corbin Burns was the only pitcher that's not available today. So, yeah, it will be a quick hook. They're starting to get some movement in that Oriole bullpen right now. Looks like they're going to give Zach Eflin a chance to pitch out of this, first and third and 2 out.
Up to 52 pitches already in the 3rd inning. Your team, your players, your home for postseason baseball. Get personalized highlights, push notifications just for you. Download the MLB app today. It's been a fun day to have the app. A lot of notifications with news and developments around playoff baseball. There's a big spot in the game right here. Yuli Gurriel trying to pad the 1-0 lead. And he takes a strike. Beautiful pitch from Eflin on the outside corner. Gurriel grounded out to end the 1st inning.
And it's worth noting, this is where the Kansas City Royals are at their best. Runners in scoring position. They're hitting 282, second best mark in Major League Baseball. They were 23rd last year, so they went from 23rd in baseball to number 2 this year. Okay, runners in scoring position.
And that 282 is with a really rough September that brought the number down. Bobby Witt Jr. at third. Salvador Perez at first. He's being held by Mountcastle. Breaking ball a little bit low and away. Gurriel now 3 for 6 in his career against Zach Eflin. Pop up shallow right center. The center fielder Mullins takes charge. Both he and Santander were waving. Eflin out of the jam. They strand 2 to the Royals. 1-0.
Welcome back to Baltimore here with Orioles manager Brandon Hyde. Brandon, how do you get your offense back on track after 11 scoreless innings?
Yeah, well, we have a lot of confidence in our guys. Just having a tough time getting out of the gate. Hopefully we get some base runners, get some traffic, and get a big hit.
What are you hoping to see from Zach Eflin, who's at 54 pitches right now?
Yeah, he's doing a nice job. You know, he got out of that jam, a little bit of a jam there. You know, kind of an unlucky run there in the first inning, but things rolling the ball well.
Thank you, Brandon. Sean, Ben, Jess.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Brandon Hyde was optimistic about his offense entering this series. Outscored Minnesota 22-6 in the last 3-game series of the regular season. Thought the bats were coming to life. They've been silenced by the Royals so far in this one. Ramon Urias is the leadoff hitter, number 9 man in their batting order. He had a hit yesterday, a double. One of those who wound up getting stranded at third base. He takes a strike. Lugo's given up just 1 hit. A Ryan O'Hearn single through the middle. He hit a batter, Westberg, in the first. Westberg will hit third in this inning. There's a drive to left. Melendez on the run. Back on the warning track, and he makes a backhanded catch. MJ Melendez. We mentioned yesterday a converted catcher. Still a work in progress in the outfield. Had a misplay yesterday, but he atones for that with a terrific running catch.
Who says he can't play the outfield, huh? How about this jump? You talk about an outfielder, Jess, you know all about this. The first step is the most important. And boy, he drop step and took off on his ball. And watch him just reel this ball in. A little bit of a mistake yesterday on a humpback line that was hooking to him, but that is an outstanding play right there.
I was talking to Matt Quatrero right before the game, the manager for the Royals. He's been the most improved outfielder in the game, period. One of the worst last year to one of the better outfielders that they have.
And now Henderson rips one down the right field line, just fouled by a few feet. Well, in the old park that Ben pitched in here, that was a home run. Almost ridiculously short porch and left. Third year of the new alignment. Westberg hit a ball yesterday that would have been a home run in almost every park in baseball, and the one just hit by Urias was a homer in 27 major league parks, but not here.
Yeah, you almost need 2 center fielders in this ballpark because left field is so big here. You got to be able to cover some ground out there.
I was so impressed too with that catch because of MJ Melendez and what he did yesterday. He misread a ball, turned into a double. He was so frustrated.
Breaking ball. Ooh. Lugo thought he had strike 3. It looked like it was in the strike zone.
We talked about that curveball. To give you some idea, he spins that curveball 3,200 RPMs. Big league average on a curveball about 2,500 RPMs.
He gets him 1 pitch later. Henderson strikes out. Royals pitchers dominating the Orioles hitters, and with some help now from the defense.
Well, to me, it's the ground covered. I mean, where he started to where he got to, and it's because he's running over where there would be a wall in any other ballpark. Look at the number 384. I mean, he's still out of breath.
His first step was, I mean, he went exactly to the spot he needed to go to.
5% catch probability. I mean, that says it all right there. And I'm just happy for him because he was so frustrated before the game today because of yesterday. He wanted to show everyone how good the glove's been. That was a great catch.
Westberg got hit on his left hand by a pitch in the first inning, takes a strike. The only other parks in which that would not have been a home run, Texas and Pittsburgh. I'm sure, Ben, as a pitcher, you like this configuration. It's really amazing the Orioles are second in home runs behind the Yankees, given how hard it is to hit one out here tonight.
Yeah, you know, for many years here, it was really an unfair ballpark for pitchers. You know, I mean, the infield grass is cut short, so the ball gets through the infield, and it was a homer ballpark. But I think it's made more fair now. You know, as a pitcher, you got somewhere to go now. Like if you want to try to get the ball to left field, you can make some mistakes out in left field.
You still seem a little cranky about it.
I gave up too many of those 364-foot home runs here to left center field.
That
But
was
everybody
a strike
did.
on the appeal down to first to Nick Lentz.
Yeah, and I got a couple of plates out there on Utah Street, unfortunately.
Out behind right field. Defensive posture by Westberg. Bounce one down to Tony Mansolino in the third base coach's box. Well, given the situation facing elimination, they haven't scored a run in this series. There must be a lot of pressure on these Oriole hitters.
And the deeper this game goes and they're behind, the more pressure they're going to feel. That's why I thought it was important for the Orioles to get out early in this one to be able to relax a little bit. But as this game goes forward and the Orioles are behind, I think you're going to see the pressure begin to mount on this offense.
Not very hard up the middle and handled by Witt. He got it there to get Westberg by a step. It's a 1-2-3 inning. Thanks to M.J. Melendez.
Yeah, M.J. Melendez says extra bases right here. Good drop step, and he reels that one in. Royals up 1-0.
The Royals have a 56% chance of winning this game based on win probability. According to ESPN Bet, live odds have them at -160 to win. ESPN Bet, the official sports book of ESPN. New players can get their first bet on today's game insured up to $1,000 in bonus bets. Scan the QR code to download the ESPN app. M.J. Melendez, first ball swinging, a very high pop-up. Cedric Mullins in shallow center, called off Gunnar Henderson. So Melendez retired. He's now 0 for 2. We're in the top of the fourth. 1-0 Kansas City. They won by that score yesterday in game 1. If they win this best of 3, and they advance to the division series. Take on the New York Yankees. Hunter Renfroe walked his first time up, and he takes a strike. He'll be followed by Kyle Isbell. Eflin pitching to the bottom part of the order here. Renfroe, the number 7 hitter.
Well, the Royals just amaze me because they don't chase the ball out of the zone. And we talked about it yesterday. They don't walk a whole lot, the third fewest, but they just don't strike out. They don't expand the zone that much at all. Second fewest strikeouts in baseball. They're going to make you throw strikes. They're going to make you, and they will attack balls over the white part of the plate. That's kind of what they do.
They have smaller swings. I mean, that's the thing. You talked about it with Bobby Witt Jr. I mean, who's their hit king, entire Major League Baseball, but it's a simple swing. Because of that, have a lot more time to see the ball.
They go up there swinging. You know, today's baseball is so much about walks and hitting home runs, and you know they've gone back old school. I, for one, love watching it.
Yeah.
They even bunt. Hit hard but foul. Renfroe, another veteran brought in this year, who's been a difference maker. I bet he has a good suitcase. 2018 he was in San Diego in 19, 2020 in Tampa Bay, 2021 he had a good year in Boston. Then in Milwaukee in 2022. Last year divided his time between the Angels and Cincinnati. And now he's in Kansas City.
Yeah, and he's got some real pop in the bat too. I mean, I think twice over his career he's gone over 30 homers, hit 29 once as well, and a huge arm in the outfield. Like, he moves okay in the outfield, but he can really throw you out.
9 outfield assists this year. He hits a very high pop-up on the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Jordan Westberg. 2 down. Here's Kevin Connors.
Don A.J. Hinch.
Who would have thought that?
How crazy is that for A.J. Hinch to go back to a place that he was let go, and I mean, just all the history. He still has a home there, and to go sweep the Astros, wow.
Yeah, and what were they, 11 games out of the wild card about early August, and all of a sudden something changed, and they started winning ball games, and here they go. I mean, just an amazing run. Been the best team in baseball since August 11th. Nobody has won more games than the Tigers have won. That's how good they've been.
Pressing all the right buttons at the right time.
0-2 the count. On Isbell, Eflin trying to have his first 1-2-3 inning. Well, entering this season, 4 teams had gone at least 8 years since their last playoff appearance. 2 of those teams snapped those droughts this year. The team we're watching, the Royals, who had been since 2015, and the Tigers, as Kevin said, first time since 2014. That leaves the Angels now with the longest playoff drought back to 2014. A.J. Hinch and Matt Cottrero probably the 2 leading candidates for Manager of the Year. They finished tied in the Central Division standings behind the Guardians, both 86 wins and 76 defeats. I don't know what you could have got for the odds of them both making it to the postseason this year on ESPN Bet before the year started.
Well, Detroit and A.J. Hinch posted this was a 0.2% chance of making the postseason to 100. I mean, just insane.
0.2 during the year?
Yes.
It looked like Danny Coulomb getting heated up for the Orioles, the left-hander.
You are correct, sir. Here comes the 8th pitch of the at-bat from Eflin. Second straight day they're getting a start more than good enough to win a game. Burns gave up 1 run in 8+ innings yesterday and took the loss. Isbell fights off another. As we've seen, these teams that win in the wild card round can get to the World Series. 3 of the last 4 World Series participants got out of this round. When the Royals make it to the playoffs, they get to the World Series. Ow. Isbell hit by a pitch. 2-out base runner for the Royals in the 4th, leading 1-0. Wear what the players are wearing on field during the postseason. Check out the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, hoodies, t-shirts, and more. Visit MLBshop.com for your favorite postseason team gear. Just the 4th appearance in the postseason in the last 40 years for the Royals, but the last 3 times they made the playoffs, they've gone to the World Series.
Kyle Isbell, after, by the way, he was 0-2 in this count, worked off 9 pitches, finally gets plunked by 1, but gets on base.
Drew French, the pitching coach, back at the mound.
Yeah, what a job Drew French has done. I mean, you talk about 4/5 of your rotation was out during the season for the Orioles, and yet the Orioles starter still ended up as the 5th best rotation in baseball. He has done a wonderful job in his first year as pitching coach for the Orioles.
Especially with all the injuries to starters, Grayson Rodriguez, chief among them, John Means, Kyle Bradish, Tyler Wells. They really needed Eflin when they went out and got him, as their starting rotation had been decimated. Eflin, longtime Philadelphia Philly. That's a foul ball out of play to the right off the bat of Michael Garcia. Made his postseason debut yesterday, and it was a good one.
Only player to reach second base. He did it twice. Walk, a hit, a couple stolen bases.
He's 24 years old, a Venezuelan. He takes the ball outside. And when he gets on and runs, he's going to get there. He stole 37 out of 39 in the regular season.
Cousins with Ronald Acuna Jr. Played with him in the Venezuela Winter League that they won this year.
1-1 pitch is skied to shallow left center. Cowser waving people off, even though nobody really near him. Better to be careful. That ends the inning. Francisco Lindor and the Mets made it into the playoffs on the last day of the regular season. They can move on to the next round with a win tonight in Milwaukee.
Baltimore here with Matt Quatraro, Kansas City Royals manager. Matt, what has Seth Lugo done to keep the Baltimore Orioles offense at bay so far?
Well, it's a lot. You know, he's got a little extra velo today than normal. So some 5s and 6s up there, but more so than anything, it's just the mix. He's unpredictable. He pitches in and out. You know, you got to do that to this kind of team.
You saw Baltimore's bullpen get going there. How has the offense gotten to Zach Eflin so far?
Well, I don't know if we really gotten to him. We put some good at-bats together, drove some pitches up there, but, you know, he's tough. He's locating as well, like we knew he would. It was nice to get on the board early.
Thank you, Matt. Back to you, Sean, Ben, and Jess.
Just 2 base runners, 1 hit and a hit batsman. Anthony Santander, the leadoff hitter, and behind in the count 1-2.
Yeah, Lugo, you know, just continues to be. I mean, you look at his starts on here: 24 out of 32 starts, 3 earned runs or less, 22 quality starts. That's tied for second best in Major League Baseball.
Only Zach Wheeler had more, 26. They got a quality start yesterday from Reagans. It would have gone deeper than the 6 innings were it not for the calf cramps. Matt Quintero was not relaxed when Reagans told him about the calf issue, and Reagans was distraught. He's had it in the past, and Quintero wasn't going to take a chance in his bullpen. Hit him 3 shutout innings. It's a full count. Lugo hasn't walked anybody. Santander lines a fastball on the right for a hit. Renfroe plays it back in. And the Orioles have their 2nd hit, their 3rd base runner, and the lead man on for the first time today.
Such a great at bat from Anthony Santander. First of all, the pitch that he took prior, the few pitches that he took to get to this, you could tell he was sitting fastball inside. Such quick hands. Look at how close his hands stay to his body. All perfect look from behind the plate to get to a fastball. And that's exactly what Matt Quintero told Jeff Passan. The velocity's getting up, but it shows you how quick the hands are of Santander.
Orioles with the lead man on for just the 3rd time in this series. In 13 innings against Royals pitching. Belt high fastball, a strike on Colton Cowser, who struck out to end the 1st.
Yeah, struck out on a changeup, and he hit a home run off of Lugo on a fastball.
Back in April. Swing and a miss. 81-mile-an-hour curve.
That's the difference maker right there. And you talk about a high spin rate curveball. Watch this thing just bottom out. I mean, up it goes, and almost just straight down vertical action is what he is. And that's the traditional curveball. He has a slurve too, which he'll work down, but he'll work it a little bit more right to left as well.
Said he learned that pitch in a tennis container when he was 10 years old. Going end to end, so he would literally learn that pitch down in Louisiana, trying to pitch end to end the curveball with a tennis container. Ended up using a Pringles can.
In a can of tennis balls?
He would basically try to go end to end to get that spin. If it went sideways, he knew he was throwing it wrong.
We used to take empty water bottles, Sean, and just kind of hold it like this. They'd be empty, and we would work on flipping them, these empty water bottles, flipping them forward. Because when you throw your fastball, you're throwing the front of your hand. When you throw your curveball, you're throwing the side of your hand. So what you're working on is flipping that thing forward like this to get a feel for being able to do this with your breaking ball. That's how he learned to throw his curveball.
With a tennis ball.
Tennis can, yeah.
Which he said turned into a Pringles can because then he got some good snacks out of it. He was 10.
Well, that tennis can kind of worked right there.
It sure
was
did.
An outstanding breaking ball.
Cowser strikes out for the 2nd time. The Orioles now 0 for 5 with men on base today and 2 for 17 for the series. They haven't had a man reach scoring position yet today.
I mean, you can't throw one better than that. Not only does it have the big depth to it, but it's just on the outside part of the plate.
Ground ball and a base hit into right field for Adley Rutschman. Handled by Renfroe as a big arm, so Santander wasn't going to take a chance.
Well, that's what Brandon Hyde was telling us. They wanted Rutschman to be a little bit more aggressive on the first pitch. Go up there, and if you get the pitch you're looking for, get your A swing off. And that's a fastball, the first one he sees, and just powers it to the right side through the hole. So 1st and 2nd for the Orioles here.
efforts at the mound. And we'll remind you that once the wild card series wrap up, the divisional round starts on Saturday with another full day of baseball, quadruple header. Starting at 1 Eastern, the American League Divisional Series will be on TBS and the National League on Fox. And we wish our friends from those two networks the very best as they cover the excitement of postseason baseball. Can the Orioles get a big hit? It's the former Royal Ryan O'Hearn up in a big spot. And he takes ball one just inside. He bounced the single through the middle for their only hit prior to this inning. Second year in Baltimore after parts of 5 with the Royals. He's been much better here. Up the middle, diving stop by Massey and a throw to first for the out. That saved a run. Santander to third and Rutschman to second. But a terrific play by Massey to take a hit away from Ryan O'Hearn.
I'm talking about it has been a glow show so far for the Royals. First it was Melendez and watched his full extension to the backhand side for Massey. Wanted to take a look at second base, realized he couldn't get Rutschman at second, but does collect the out over at first base, and you won't see a better pickup than that.
Mountcastle with 2 men in scoring position, and Lugo got a strike on a borderline pitch, a sweeper that appeared to be outside. Royals infield for the year plus 33 and outs above average, best in Major League Baseball. Fastball runs inside, and Mountcastle skipping out of the way.
Well, that's Lugo's way of just keeping the right-handed hitters honest. Every now and then he'll take that 2-seam fastball, he'll run it in off the plate. And what does that do? It does 2 things. It speeds the bat up at times so he can get to that ball on the outside part of the plate, but it keeps those hitters honest about diving out over the plate.
Lugo jammed him. Mountcastle tried to check his swing. It was much too late. And it's 1-2.
Boy, I love that sequence, right? A lot of hitters think, oh, you're just going to show me that fastball in and go back to something away, but he doubled up on the fastball in. That is pitching 301 there.
1-2 pitch. Fly ball, right field, should be routine for Hunter Renfroe. And the Orioles' frustration continues. And the defense continues to be stellar for the Royals, along with the great starting pitching.
Well, do it, Michael Massey, and that saved a run right there. Quickly to his feet and a perfect throw over to first base.
Play Ball is baseball's global youth initiative to highlight the fun and accessible ways to play our great game. To learn more, including how to find a league near you, go to playball.org and follow Play Ball on X, Facebook, and Instagram. Well, Brandon Hyde wasn't lying when he said he was going to manage like there's no tomorrow, because there is no tomorrow for the Orioles. He's gone to the bullpen after just 4 innings from Zach Eflin, and it's the veteran left-hander Danny Coulombe.
Yeah, Danny Coulombe, cutter, sweeper, 4-seamer, and a sinking fastball, and he'll show you an occasional knuckle curve. Most used pitches, that cutter of his.
Swing and a miss by Michael Massey, the old baseball cliche. How many times does it happen? The guy makes a great defensive play and he leads off the next inning. It's actually happened 2 innings in a row. Melendez led off last inning after his glorious catch in left field. Massey has scored the only run of this game. Takes the ball high from Coulombe, 34 years old, from St. Louis. Jacob Webb warming up in the Baltimore bullpen. Top of the order for the Royals. Foul off the end of bat. And if you're the Royals, are you concerned about the offense? You'd have to be, wouldn't you? 204 batting average in September. They might sweep this series with 2 runs the way it's going right now.
Well, what we talk about, what wins in the playoffs? Pitching and defense. And if you can pitch and you can play defense, that's the Detroit Tigers. I mean, how did they get to where they're at right now? They've been pitching and they've been playing defense. The offense is just okay for the Tigers. And this is a pretty solid offense the Royals have. But let's be honest, they have done it as of late with their pitching and their defense and just enough clutch offense.
Coulombe works off the third base end of the rubber. And he strikes out Massey.
It's all the same, business and baseball. The data gives you the framework in which to go out and compete. Making those key decisions at key moments and then knowing the impact, that's the magic.
Sage is helping business leaders like Hal Ripken Jr. make smarter, faster decisions.
Bobby Witt Jr. takes a soft strike. Eflin pitched 4 innings. For the second day in a row, the Orioles starter gives up just the 1 run. He did it on 4 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. He hit a batter through 75 pitches, 50 of them strikes. Are you surprised he came out of the game having allowed just 1 run on 4 innings?
I think if the Orioles win game 1 yesterday, he stays in the ball game. But Brendan Hyde told us, he said, I'm not going to mess around. I'm going to put my guys. I got some pockets. I can get some relievers in certain situations. And I'm going to use those guys, and we're going to keep it as close as we can. If we get behind and try to win it at the end, and that's what he's doing.
Witt into the hole, backhanded by Henderson, and one young shortstop star throws out another.
Big time right there. That is big time. Because we talked about Bobby Witt's sprint speed. He's the fastest guy in Major League Baseball. Watch Gunnar Henderson to the backhand side and watch him just stick his foot in the grass right there and push off of it. And I'm talking about a rocket over to first base to get Bobby Witt Jr. Big time play right there.
23-year-old throwing out a 24-year-old. It's going to be fun to watch those two play for a long time. Strike 1 thrown to Pasquantino. Jeff?
When Vinny Pasquantino was trying to come back, Sean, from his injury, he tried a number of different bats. You'll see the bat he's using has an axe-shaped handle. Said that felt best for him.
Hits the ball hard with it, and he has a hit. Played on a hop by Santander on the edge of the warning track.
So he tries the axe handle, and after yesterday's game, he's looking at his swings and looking at the metrics, looking at his swing speed in particular. During the season, Vinny Pasquantino averaged 71.7 miles per hour on his swing speed. Yesterday, 74.4 miles per hour on his first inning single, Sean, was up to 77 miles per hour. It may be adrenaline, it may be something, but he's hitting it hard and hitting it well.
And all hands on deck for Baltimore out of the bullpen. Jacob Webb, the new pitcher, when we come back. Jacob Webb, the new pitcher for Baltimore. Got into 60 games in the regular season. Did a nice job for them. He inherits Pasquantino at first and Salvador Perez at the plate with 2 outs. 5th inning, 1-0 Royals. To follow up on what Jeff Passan was saying, still a lot of hardware in that thumb of Vinny Pasquantino.
It's unbelievable that he's back. I mean, this is what's in his thumb. He's got a metal plate. You see the 5 screws in there. This was less than a month ago after the surgery. They said no chance within 6 weeks. He's back in the lineup within a month.
Perez hit by the pitch. That'll send Pasquantino down to second. So he still has that plate and the screws in his thumb, and they think looks a chance. As we look at the hit by pitch, Perez hit on the elbow guard. You know, there's a chance he could break it again, but they don't think if he does damage to it, it's something that's going to be career threatening.
He said it's the vibration of the bat. So like not even so much like a pitch up and in, but off the end of the bat. He said he absolutely can't bunt, which isn't really something or part of his game.
And no sliding head first either. Not that he was ever a head first slider.
Yeah, no, but Vinny definitely is amazed by the fact that he's able to get back, and he's got 2 hits in this one. Bat speed higher than it's ever been.
Yeah, he took a 0 for 3 yesterday, but he has looked much more comfortable at the plate today.
Matt Contreras joked he didn't even want to ask Vinny how he felt. Didn't want to hear. Possibly a negative answer. Here's Gurriel, up for the 3rd time with men on base in 3 at-bats today. Grounded out with a runner at first in the first inning, the only inning in which either team has scored. He came up with 2 outs, 2 men on in the 3rd inning and fly to center. Takes the ball outside, a sweeper at 82 from Jacob Webb.
Yeah, 3-pitch mix for Webb. Fastball's going to be about 94, that sweeper, but his best pitch is a changeup, and he'll use it against the right-handers and the left-handers as well.
Thrown 4 straight balls. and make it 5. Three and 0. And that's not close. So he's hit a batter and walked a batter. And he's starting to hear some boos. And that loads the bases, and a huge at bat upcoming for MJ Melendez, who, as we said earlier, didn't have a lot of runs batted in during the year. 44. Most of those on home runs. But talking to the great Royals broadcasters, Ryan Lefevre, Denny Matthews, here's French going to the mound again, said he had a lot of big hits in this season for Kansas City.
That's how I like the great hitters, man. I want to know what you're hitting with runners in scoring position, right? And just like a pitcher on the other side, I want to know what your opponent's batting average is with runners in scoring position. Can you grab a different gear when it matters the most as a hitter and a pitcher? That's what I like to look at. And Melendez has a chance here to just bust this one wide open as Yennier Cano is beginning to get heated up for the Orioles.
I don't want to leave out Jake Eisenberg and Steve Stewart, also part of the terrific Royals broadcast team. One mound visit left now for Baltimore. How about Denny Matthews? 56 years in the Royals broadcast booth.
Wow.
What a great broadcaster and a wonderful guy.
Yeah. We just had Jim Palmer step in our booth in between innings. 61 years in the Oriole organization. That is crazy, huh?
Still doing Orioles TV. Here's Melendez in a big spot. He pulled it foul. Bases loaded. Royals with a chance to break this one open, leading 1-0 in the 5th inning of Game 2. If they win, they sweep this best-of-3 series and head to the division series in New York. Webb, swing and a miss. Melendez in the hole. Fans coming to their feet. They've had the knack for the big hit all year long. Can Melendez deliver another? The 0-2 pitch, very high. Set in the pitch, and he struck him out with a changeup. Melendez goes down swinging, and a sigh of relief from the big crowd here at Camden Yards. Halfway through the ball game, 1-0 Royals. The Royals have had their chances to give Seth Lugo a little breathing room. They're 2 for 11 with men on base today. And Lugo drops in strike one to Cedric Mullins to start the 5th. 1-0 Kansas City. Mullins struck out swinging to end the 2nd. And Skies one drifting out of play down the left field line. Sean McDonough with Jessica Mendoza and Ben McDonald. Our producer Jeff Dufine, our director Billy Proctor, Jeff passing down the field. Ivan Sokolsky, our booth coordinator, thrilled to have you with us for playoff baseball from beautiful Oriole Park. The original of these old-time ballparks. It has been copied, but probably still not duplicated.
No.
Well, the warehouse has just kind of said, you know, that's what makes it a lot different than most.
Mullins takes a pitch in the dirt. Ramon Urias on deck, and then Gunnar Henderson. Lugo's given up 3 hits. All of them singles. He's not walked a batter, he's hit one. And he bounces one up there.
Yeah, I tell you how good Lugo's been. His last 5 starts, he has not allowed an extra base hit to a right-handed hitter in his last 5 starts. That's how good he's been. Gives up a lot of singles, and we didn't talk about this. He's only allowed 16 home runs this year in 210 innings of work. Now that is a low number. Keeps the ball in the ballpark.
And that's driven to right. Cedric Mullins hits a home run. And the Orioles have their first run of this series. And if you are a Royals fan, you're blaming Ben McDonald and the announcer jinx. Right on cue. A home run for Mullins.
I never got it out of my mouth. Well, Cedric Mullins can do that. That's home run number 19 on the year, RBI number 55 on the year. And oh, by the way, the 17th home run that Seth Lugo has given up. And here it is right there, just a center cut fastball. One of the few times Lugo has missed a spot today, and Cedric Mullins quickly turns it around.
Now a little flare that drops for Ramon Arias in shallow center field. So with the crowd going crazy for the first time in this series, after the Mullins long ball, it's a bloop hit for Arias.
Well, taking a look back at the home run, Cedric Mullins. And remember, he worked this count full to get to this pitch. I can't look at this enough. You get behind home plate inside the batter's box. Cedric Mullins being able to get to this pitch because of the pitches he had taken, not the chase. That's the adjustment we're now seeing these hitters make. Make Seth Lugo make a mistake. He did. Mullins capitalizes.
Now action in the Kansas City bullpen. Angel Serpa warming up. Here's Gunnar Henderson, and he takes the ball high. Looking for his first hit of the series. Takes a strike. He did walk yesterday in the 8th inning. They had a good chance. They had 2 men on in the 8th inning. Lucas Ursa came in to get Santander to ground out to end that inning. Finally on the board. After 13 scoreless innings. Pitch is low and away. Short lead for Arias, not much of a threat to run, and that's ball 4 way inside. So all of a sudden, the problem for Lugo, and Cal Ripken Jr. loves it. And this is the formula for Baltimore. They have to slug 48% of their runs. Home runs, only the Yankees hit more homers, 2 more than the Orioles, 235. And they have 9 players with 10 homers or more, including Westberg at the plate, who takes a strike. He was hit by a pitch and he grounded out at the 3rd. Homered off Lugo in the regular season. A little comebacker, bobbled by Lugo, and everybody's going to be safe. It was a tricky little short hop in front of the mound, and he couldn't play it. And the bases are loaded.
I think what got Seth Lugo here, if you'll watch this replay coming up right here, he went to turn his body to try to get the runner at third base. And as he was turning his body, watch him get to this ball easy. He's thinking about getting that lead runner at third, but he's trying to turn. And when he began to turn right there, the ball just popped out of his glove. See him kind of setting his feet to be able to pivot all the way around and collect that out at third base. Instead, in and out of the glove, and now bases loaded for the Orioles and nobody out.
First error on either team in the series. It's on the pitcher. Nobody out. Bases full for Santander. Swing and a miss at a high fastball. Orioles 1 out of 10 with runners in scoring position in the series so far. Santander struck out swinging in the first, single to right, leading off the 4th. He takes the ball up and in. We mentioned it earlier. Brandon Hyde has to manage like there's no tomorrow. He's going to be quick to make moves. Not the same pressure on Potrero. Santander, a high pop-up. Can they find it in the clouds? Yes, they can. Gurriel, a big first out catch.
That is a giant out right there. Bases loaded, nobody out. Santander just trying to push a ball deep enough for a sacrifice fly. Couldn't get it done.
Oh, Chero's going to go to the mound with the hook. Lugo ordinarily deep in the ball games, but he's going to depart in the 5th. Back in Baltimore, where the Orioles have tied it at 1 here in the 5th inning. Seth Lugo out of the ball game in favor of Angel Serpa, a 25-year-old Venezuelan. On his first postseason roster, he led the Royals with those 60 appearances in the regular season.
Yeah, ground ball pitcher. That's what you go in these situations. You're trying to create a ground ball to turn a double play and get out of this thing, and that's the idea for the Royals right now.
He wants a lefty against the lefty Cowser with home run power. He's going to hit one here. It's going to have to be to the opposite, to the home side of the field against the lefty.
And I mean, it is high velocity too. Fastball's going to be 96 up to 99. A good sink to it. Show you a slider, a changeup, and a curveball as well.
Working quickly, bases full, 1 out. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Cowser's already struck out twice. Are you surprised Lugo's out of the game?
I'm not, just because it looked like his stuff was diminishing in that last inning, and they're treating these games. I know that the Royals are up 1, but they are treating these games, getting to the bullpen quickly.
Serpa misses low and away.
Serpa's also coming off the best stretch of the entire season. Last couple weeks, 7 straight scoreless appearances, the best stuff that they've seen from him. A lot of confidence in him.
Cowser with Rutschman on deck. Swing and a miss, and the pitch hit him. He swung at the pitch, it appeared, and missed, and they're calling it a strike. And that appears to be the right call. It did hit Cowser, but after he swung and missed. And now Brandon Hyde, double duty here, checking on Cowser, but also checking about whether they want to challenge the strikeout call. So if it's a hit by pitch, it's the lead for Baltimore. Looked like from that one, it might have hit him on the hand.
Yeah, but if he swung at it, it doesn't matter.
Yes, that's correct. And he definitely swung at it, didn't he?
It's the right call.
That's what it looks like.
Oh, it did hit his hand.
It got him right on the hand.
Well, a double whammy for Cowser. He gets hit by the pitch, takes the pain, and he strikes out for the 3rd time, this time with the bases loaded.
Yeah, sinking fastball up and in is what that is. And what set Cowser up on that was back-to-back sliders down and away. So he's kind of diving out there, hunting that slider again, and you get the 2-seamer up and in.
So it's up to Adley Rutschman, who delivered a single to right in the 4th. Last inning, they stranded 2 last inning. Trying not to leave 3 here. Much better this year against lefties. .329 batting from the right side of the plate for Rutschman. He took a fastball inside Serpa.
Of course it's going to come to Adley Rutschman. It's exactly what Brandon Hyde said. If there's one guy that needs to break it open, it's this guy. Already a hit his last at bat.
Up and away, 2-0.
And these are the situations Brandon Hyde wants to see Adley Rutschman be more aggressive, right? Bases loaded, 2-0 count. Go hunt that fastball. If you get it and it's in the quadrant you're looking for, get your swing off and be aggressive.
Arias, Henderson, and Westberg, the runners from 3rd around to 1st. 2-0 pitch. Strike right down the middle. Exactly what you and Brandon Hyde are talking about. You have to swing at that pitch.
I mean, that's what you dream for as a hitter, right, Jess? I mean, to get the count in your favor where you can kind of narrow down what's coming and sit on a certain pitch. And, man, when you get it, get your swing off. And Rutschman just vapor locks on a heater right down the middle.
And Hyde said that exact thing we talked about yesterday's game. So I'd like to see Rutschman go after that 2-0 pitch. Same situation here. And he takes one right down the middle.
You couldn't have set that one on tee any better, right? If you're doing tee drills, that's right where you're going to set it, right in the heart of the plate.
Samper trying to get them out of the jam. 2-2 pitch, hit to the shortstop. Witt from the outfield. Grass got him. Wrong man to hit it to. Great work by Serpa. And credit Matt Trero for the pitching change. Samper did his job. Mullins has tied it on a home run.
Contrero did his job. He pulled the right button right there. But Cedric Mullins puts the Orioles on the scoreboard, and we are all new again.
It's October. The sports calendar jams. Saturday on ABC, number 5 Georgia hosts Auburn at 3:30. Saturday night UFC action at 10 on pay-per-view. Saints and Chiefs on Monday Night Football Tuesday. Opening night of the NHL. A triple header on ESPN, including the defending champion Florida Panthers against Boston.
You've got like half those games.
I do. I have the football game at Georgia on Saturday and the hockey game on Tuesday. It's a good week when you call playoff baseball, a great college football game, and the Stanley Cup champions raising the banner.
It's good to be you, Sean.
I feel blessed beyond measure. Particularly to be here with the two of you today and watching this very exciting game. Hunter Renfroe has now seen 18 pitches in this, his third at bat. He walked in the second against the starter Eflin, and he popped out against Zach. That was in the fourth, facing Jacob Webb. Came on last inning, got off to a shaky start, hit a batter and issued a walk to load the bases, but then struck out MJ Melendez as both teams left the bases loaded in the fifth inning. Renfroe, Isbell, Garcia, bottom third of the order against Webb. Good off speed, breaking ball, and Renfroe strikes out.
Colton Cowser, after getting hit, still able to play in this game. I'm surprised. You saw how swollen that was. You can see he's got it all wrapped up.
Another pitching change. Brandon Hyde said he'd manage like this today. He's about to bring in his fourth pitcher. So far, the calls to the bullpen have worked out very well.
Let's take a look at tonight's active play of the game, brought to you by Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. And we saw bottom of the fifth inning, you see leadoff batter Vinny Pasquantino gets on. Salvador Perez gets hit by a pitch. Bases are loaded, and then 2 consecutive strikeouts now roll it to the bottom of the fifth inning. Cedric Mullins responds after getting out of the big inning to tie this game. A lot of times that's exactly the momentum the team needed from the defense. The pitching led right to the offense. A big hit by Mullins.
The new pitcher is CNL Perez, a left-hander. They have 4 lefties in their bullpen, and he's had a good year for the most part. The ERA a little bit higher than you would expect with a guy who can be very tough.
Yeah, sinker ball pitcher, and he's got a good arm too. Not a big guy, but he can really dial it up. Fastball will be 96 to 98. He'll sink it most of the time. He'll show you that slider occasionally, and every now and then he'll give you a 4-seam fastball, but he's typically lives with that sinking fastball.
That ERA went up in September when he struggled in 11 outings at an ERA of 9.
Yeah, it's been kind of hit and miss with CNL in the month of September. He's either been really good or really bad.
Fourth Orioles pitcher. Biggie is greeted by Kyle Isbell, who's ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. No homers in 103 straight appearances, the longest such streak in Baltimore history, as you might expect. You want to give it the Ben McDonald try here?
I'm glad you said that.
Kyle Isbell is saying thank you.
I'm glad you said that. You're going to test it again, aren't you?
I am not a believer at all in the announcer jinx, but it is amazing how many times, coincidentally, it happens. Isbell has reached on the fielder's choice and been hit by a pitch.
Yeah, that's kind of the bread and butter right there for CNL. He likes that sinker right at the bottom of the zone. But he can spray it from time to time, and walks will get him in trouble every now and then.
28 years old from Cuba. And it's to Urias, who can't get it to first in time. So Isbell runs pretty well, safe on the Baltimore chop.
And just using the ground on this. I mean, you take that sinker, look how high this gets into the air. Beautiful job just using the speed to get down the line. No chance. I mean, look at the height. Don't see that very often.
There's Michael Garcia with Isbell at first, on base for the second time. Held by Ryan Mountcastle. A strike painted on the outside corner. Garcia has grounded to short and fly to left. One game. We're in the 6th inning. Game 2 of this best-of-3 series. Kansas City trying to end it here this evening. Charm City. Another painted strike, this one on the inside corner. Breaking ball a little bit low. Eflin started, went 4 innings, allowed the 1 run on 4 hits. Swing and a miss. Garcia strikes out. 2 outs in the Kansas City 6th. The wild card round continues tonight. Mets and Brewers at 7:30 on ESPN. Brewers trying to extend that series. Braves Padres at 8:30 Eastern on ESPN2. The Padres with a win will move on. Both games on ESPN Deportes and the app. Here's Massey. Michael takes strike 1. He scored the Kansas City run, led off the game with a double down the first baseline into the right field corner, and scored on a single with 1 out by Vinny Pasquantino. Little flare, right center, dropping fast, and it falls in front of Mullins. On to third goes Isbell. A bloop hit for Massey, his 2nd hit of the day, to go along with a stellar defensive play.
3rd hit in 2 games, and this is kind of how he's been getting it done. This is a slider below the zone, not a bad pitch. It's going away from the barrel. He gets it off the end of the bat. It's kind of how the Royals do it. Find the grass, extend the inning. Now runners at 1st and 3rd here with 2 outs in the 6th.
Yeah, there is no way at all that Brandon Hyde is going to allow Cionel Perez to face Bobby Witt.
Brandon has to hope he has enough pitchers to make it to the end of the ball game. Said he'd manage like there is no tomorrow, and if they lose, that is indeed the case. We're tied at 1 in the 6th inning. Colton Cowser had a visit from the trainer Brian Ebel, who's still out in the outfield. Cowser hit on the hand by a pitch in the last half inning. Looks for now like he's going to stay in the game. Here's the new pitcher, already pitcher number 5 for Baltimore here in the 6th inning. The big right-hander Yennier Cano.
Yeah, he has been busy this year, making his 71st appearance for the Orioles this year. I mean, it is a power sinker. I mean, it's going to be all the way up, upper 90s type sinker. That's kind of his bread and butter. That sinker's got as much movement as any sinker in baseball. A really good changeup behind it. It's a hard changeup. So fastball's going to be 97, 98. Changeup's going to be up to 92, and it'll show you occasional breaking ball as well. And Sean, we were talking about it. This is kind of the pocket that Brandon Hyde wanted to use Yennier Cano, because you got a righty in Witt, a lefty in Pasquantino, then back-to-back righties with Perez and Gurriel.
Witt Jr. led the majors with runners in scoring position in the regular season at 388. He's 3 for 6 in his career against Cano. And he takes a strike, thigh high. Single in each of the first 2 games for Witt. A single yesterday knocked in the run. Trying to put them back up with Isbell, the runner at 3rd. And Massey at 1st, and a ball that just missed. 1 ball and 1 strike. of anxiety. Bounding ball up the middle. Backhanded stop by Westberg. Throw to first, not in time. Bobby Witt Jr. beat it. A great stop by Westberg and a terrific effort to make the play at first base, but he could not. His lead is Isbell scores from third.
Just tremendous play to get to a hard hit ball, 109 miles an hour off the plate, but he had the out at second. I'm surprised he did not go there, knowing the speed of Bobby Witt Jr., who beats this out. Play led him right up the middle. Felt like that was the easier out to get out of the inning.
So struggles for both teams throughout the series to get a big hit in a key spot, but Witt has done it again. Let's take a look and see.
Do you think he thought maybe Henderson wasn't going to get there in time, so he tried to take the out over at first base? I don't know. I know it was a heck of a play just to get to that ball.
But to Jess's point, as Pasquantino takes a strike, if you're Westberg and you understand the situation, you know who's running down the line. On that kind of a play where you have to dive behind the bag, get up, throw to first, you're not going to get Bobby Witt Jr.
No. 31.3 feet per second. That is the fastest you're going to see getting down the line.
Pasquantino already with 2 hits. He drove in their first run. So that run charged to CNL Perez. Pasquantino checked his swing. The pitch high and no swing on the appeal down to the third base umpire David Rackley.
Yeah, watch Bobby Witt get out of the box right here. He is smelling the infield hit, and he knows that go-ahead run is at third base, and I mean, he just flat out beat that one out.
Pasquantino takes ball 4 low. So Cano has yielded an infield hit to Witt, by Witt, and a walk to Pasquantino. Here comes Perez with the bases loaded.
Yeah, it almost felt like to me that Yanier Cano didn't want anything to do with Pasquantino there. He wanted to face the right-hander and Salvador Perez.
Who takes a borderline strike on the inside corner, a slider. Perez is struck out, singled, and hit by a pitch. All 4 plate appearances this evening have been with men on base. 5 career postseason home runs for Salvi. 3rd in franchise history. The Hall of Famer George Brett with 10. Alex Gordon with 6. He'd like to catch Alex Gordon right here. He'd settle for any kind of hit. Slow chopper foul wide of third. Yanier Cano, big right-hander, 6'4", 245. Seems like in this series, at least, that's average size for a pitcher.
Yeah, he was an all-star last year. I mean, he came out of nowhere. Wasn't even expected to make the team for the Orioles last year. Became an all-star.
30 years old, originally from Cuba. Comes set with the bases full. Another 0-2 pitch, and he struck him out. Well, the Royals leave the bases loaded for the 2nd straight inning, where they get a run, and they're up 2-1. And be a part of history by helping select the 2024 All-MLB team presented by MGM Rewards. Vote today for the players you believe had the best performance this season. Terms and conditions apply. See MLB.com/AllMLB for details. Great Cal Ripken Jr. here again today, as he is every day. Was here yesterday, part of the ownership group, the new group. Angel Serpa now in position to pick up a win. And he's facing a pinch hitter. Austin Slater, right-handed hitter, bats for the left-handed swinging Ryan O'Hearn. Slater's been a good pinch hitter in recent years. Matter of fact, since 2019, he leads all of Major League Baseball with 39 pinch hits, just 2 for 16 in that role this year. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Slater, Ryan Mountcastle, Cedric Mullins do. Serpent came in last inning. Bases full, struck out Cowser and got Rutschman to ground out and the threat. 99-mile-an-hour heater had Slater spinning out of the way. Slater came over during the year around the trade deadline from Cincinnati. Fastball low and a full count. Time to utter the old tried and true cliche. The last thing you want to do is walk the leadoff hitter. And he won't. Went to a off-speed slider and he struck out Slater.
Go back to the bottom of the 5th inning. Remember, after the home run, bases loaded for Baltimore, nobody out. This felt like a huge opportunity. You see the frustration. Southpaw there, then right after Cowser strikes out on the hit by pitch, and Adley Rutschman ends the inning grounding out. This has been the series for Baltimore. 3 for 24 with 11 strikeouts with men on, 1 for 13 with runners in scoring position.
John Schreiber will be the new pitcher for Kansas City when we come back to Baltimore. Tonight, 7:30 right here on ESPN. About 45 minutes away, Willie Adames and the Milwaukee Brewers trying to even their series with the Mets and force a deciding Game 3. Terrific year for Adames. Here's John Schreiber for Kansas City. Got into 59 games in the regular season. He is the 3rd pitcher used by Matt Trero today.
Yeah, another ground ball pitcher. Got a 2 and a 4-seam fastball, cutter, changeup, and a sweeper as well. Probably his best pitch is that sweeper, though. Opponent's hitting 154 off of that sweeping slider.
Been really good against right-handed batters too, and was on the IL for a good month. Came off that with a patella injury. 10 straight scoreless appearances to close out the season. Did not allow a run after September 1st.
Talking to some of the Royals folks, it almost seemed as if the knee problem for Schreiber was a blessing, because it looked like he was getting tired and was going through a rough patch. He came back and was back to his earlier season form. Inherits a 2-1 lead, 1 out, bases empty in the Baltimore 6th, and Ryan Mountcastle the hitter. Schreiber hits the outside corner. Mountcastle 0 for 2, a strikeout and a fly to right. The bullpen has been terrific for Matt Petrero. Got 3 scoreless innings yesterday and a scoreless inning from Serpa today. Retired all 3 men he faced. Got the big 2 outs to end last inning. Mountcastle in an 0-2 hole. Schreiber in his first year with Kansas City. Came over in an offseason trade from the Boston Red Sox. He struck out Mountcastle.
Well, here comes Cedric Mullins, and I tell you what, the Orioles down 1 just an inning ago. And the center fielder for Orioles steps to the plate. You talk about lean back on one, and boy, did he ever lean back on that one. 24-degree launch angle, 106 off the bat. You see it travels nearly 400 feet. Cedric Mullins' 19th long ball of the season.
Sends this one to left. Going back, Melendez. He makes the catch. The Orioles go in order. We head to the late innings. On to the 7th. Kansas City trying to wrap up this series. Leads 2-1. Welcome back to the 2024 Wild Card Series presented by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet. Get internet how you want it. Heston Kjerstad into the game in left field for Baltimore. Colton Cowser hit on the hand by a pitch. We saw him in pain in the outfield last inning. He cannot continue. Yennier Cano still on the mound, the 5th Baltimore pitcher of the day, trying to keep them within 1 run. 2-1 Kansas City. Yuli Gurriel took strike 1. Could be a much bigger advantage for Kansas City. They've been the team that struggled with men on base tonight. They've left 11 men on. They've left the bases loaded each of the last 2 innings. Gurriel, Melendez, Renfroe due up. Chopper to deep third. Urias, who's won a Gold Glove, threw out Gurriel. Only 15 more for Ramon Urias to catch Brooks Robinson.
How about that? 16 Gold Gloves by Brooks Robinson.
We miss him. Here's Melendez, 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts. But a big defensive play earlier in the game. Hits it through the hole on the left side. They were playing him to pull in the infield with Urias way off the line. That went just about where the shortstop would ordinarily be in a usual alignment. So that time the shift hurts Baltimore, and Melendez has a hit.
Yeah, pretty good job by Melendez here using the backside of the field. That two-seam fastball kind of working down and away from him. Didn't try to pull it. Let the hands go first. The barrel finds it. He finds the hole.
He's going to come out for a pinch runner. Garrett Hampson will run. First hit of his postseason career for Melendez, who is now 1 for 7 in this series.
Hampson took over left field yesterday, so he'll probably do the same now that he's in the run.
And that is the double bonus for Matt Quatrero because he's a better defender than Melendez, which doesn't diminish the play MJ made earlier. Here's Hunter Renfroe. Took ball 1 low. 0 for 2 with a walk. They give him a huge hole on the right side of the infield to throw to first to check on Hampson. They'll move him if they can. That's the way they play. And he takes off. Swing and a miss by Renfroe. Throw! Got it. Good throw by Rutschman. And Hampson caught stealing. Although, will they challenge the call?
Hampson immediately said that he was safe. Asked for the replay as soon as he got in.
Boy, watch this throw by Rutschman. You talk about coming out of that crouch, huh? And I mean a bullet down to second base. Westberg quickly applies the tag. Now, here we go. Does he get in there?
Apparently not, because they're not going to challenge it.
Looked like he was out to me.
Yep. And Matt Quatrero and his staff agree. So now 2 outs and the base is empty. And ball 2 down and away to Renfroe. Hampson had stolen 7 in the regular season, was thrown out twice. As a backup player for the most part. Chopper could be a problem. Cano makes it no problem. What a play by the big fella.
Who says pitchers aren't athletes, huh? Do it, big fella. That's what you call bouncing off the bump right there. Little squibber off the end of the bat. He goes and gets it, barehands it, and collects the out over at first base.
On to the bottom of the seventh inning stretch here at Camden Yards. 2-1 Kansas City. A win. They sweep this best-of-3 series and head on to the division series to take on the New York Yankees. Garrett Hampson came on as a runner, stays in left field. Behind John Schreiber, his first pitch at the bottom of the 7th is swung on and missed by Ramon Urias. Fly deep to left in the 3rd, a home run in 27 big league parks, but not here. He singled and was stranded when they left the bases loaded in the 5th. He was left at 3rd base. Schreiber throws a strike.
Yeah, Schreiber is painting that fastball on the outside part of the plate.
Schreiber throws a breaking ball well outside.
Yeah, go ahead.
Seth Lugo 4 1/3, making the start. Gave up the 1 run on 5 hits. The big one, the home run by Mullins, the only Baltimore run in the series so far. Seth walked 1, struck out 6. Serpa retired all 3 men he faced, 2 of them via the strikeout. He's the pitcher of record, and now Schreiber's retired both men he has faced. And make that all 3 now as Urias strikes out. That's going to be it for Schreiber. Left-handed hitting Gunnar Henderson coming up next. So Matt Truro on his way to the mound. They're going to need to replace the grass on both sides between the dugout and the pitcher's mound the way these managers are going. Sam Long will be the new hurler when we come back.
Welcome back to Baltimore. You see Sam Long out on the mound right now. Joined the Royals in the middle of the season. The only relievers left from their opening day roster right now here in Baltimore are Angel Zerpa and John Schreiber, who have been in the game already. Kansas City's bullpen was the 4th best in Major League Baseball in the month of September with an ERA under 3 after being the 25th best in baseball, going out and getting Lucas Erceg at the trade deadline, adding guys like Sam Long. JJ Piccolo, their general manager, deserves serious consideration, Sean, for Executive of the Year in Major League Baseball.
No question. The moves he made in the offseason, during the season. What a performance by the Kansas City bullpen. They got 3 scoreless innings yesterday from Long, Bubic, and Erceg combined. Just 1 hit allowed yesterday in those 3 relief innings and 2 walks. And so far 2 perfect innings from the bullpen today. Serpa retired all 3 he faced. So did Schreiber. They each struck out 2.
Only 1 earned run the last 37 innings pitched from this bullpen. It was not a strong suit throughout the season, as Jeff said, but they have been strong heading into this.
Long was first out of the pen yesterday. He jumps quickly ahead of Henderson with 2 strikes.
Well, we talked about getting hot at the right time, right? And we talked about the Texas Rangers last year. Their bullpen well below average, but when the postseason got here, they grabbed a different gear and they pitched them all the way to the World Series title.
Long just missed. Henderson 0 for 2 with a walk. Still just 23 years old. Already one of the biggest stars in baseball. Swing and a miss at a pitch up and in. Long pitched a 1-2-3 inning yesterday in his postseason debut.
Yeah, went 1-2-3 yesterday in 10 pitches, a perfect inning, and that's a backup slider. This ball just kind of stays up and in. Supposed to be away. You can see where Perez was set up on the outside part of the plate. Long might have got away with one there. That's what you call a big miss, but a good miss.
Soft one on the outside corner, a strike to Westberg. Was hit by a pitch in the first, grounded out in the third, reached on an error by the pitcher, Lugo, in the 5th. A ball and a strike. Santander on deck. Another softy. Here, pin drop here right now. 36,698 the attendance. Well below capacity. And that's almost 5,000 fewer than yesterday. A little bit of a surprise. That one might have stung the hand of Perez. How many times do you think that's happened to him? Hall of Famer?
A bunch.
Absolutely.
I think so. I think so.
Agree.
He's in some pain too back there.
Just rub a little dirt on it, right? The old thing you learn when you're a kid, rub a little dirt on it.
He's been everything for this Royals team. Not just behind the plate, leadership. Only one remaining in that World Series team.
2015. The rest of the World Series in back-to-back years, won it in 15. Haven't been to the playoffs since.
He's also been huge for a bullpen that's never been in these moments. Calmed them down yesterday late.
3-2 from long. That's ball 4. He walks Westberg, and now at the pitch to Santander, who was second in the American League in home runs in the regular season with a career high 44.
Yeah, this could be a good matchup for Santander here. Sometimes he struggles with a high velocity fastball. A lot better on off-speed pitches.
Check the swing on that off-speed pitch and could not. Santander struck out, singled, and popped out. Popped out at a big spot in the 5th with the bases loaded. Skies that to center. Room for Isbell in front of the warning track. Baltimore has left 8. They have 1 hit with a man on base today. 1 for 13. Here's our game track as we head to the 8th inning of Game 2 of this AL wildcard series. Royals leading 2-1. There have been a total of 4 runs scored in this series. 3 of them by the Royals. Bobby Witt Jr. has driven in 2 of those 3, 1 in each game. Cedric Mullins has provided the Orioles their only run on a home run here today off Seth Lugo. Here's pitcher number 6 for Brandon Hyde, Gregory Soto, who came over from Philadelphia at the trade deadline.
Yeah, his first 3 or 4 appearances with the Orioles were not great, but I tell you what, he settled in nicely after that. Big time arm from the left side. You go see the fastball. He'll show you triple digits every now and then. It's upper 90s fastball, but the key for him is being able to land that slider of his.
His first pitch goes to the backstop, the grasp of Adley Rutschman. Soto facing Isbell. He's reached on a fielder's choice, been hit by a pitch, and he scored the go-ahead run after his Baltimore chop infield single in the 6th. Bobby Witt knocked him in with 2 outs. Michael Garcia due up next, and then Michael Massey, the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. And the pitch just a little bit low from Soto, who in 20 appearances since August 8th is 1-0 with a 1.10 ERA.
Yeah, and I tell you what, he's got some valuable postseason experience with the Phillies. He's been really good in the postseason.
He missed there, and he's behind Isbell 3-1. Sir Anthony Dominguez, who also came over around the deadline from Philadelphia, warming up in their pen. Brandon Hyde said yesterday when we visited, they were fortunate. Dominguez and Soto a little bit married, to use Brandon's word, in a very good Philadelphia bullpen. The Phillies thought they were expendable, and they've been an important factor.
Yeah, because both of those guys are on record saying they wanted to be in more leverage situations. They weren't getting those leverage situations with the Phillies, but with the Orioles, they have been getting them.
Full count to the leadoff batter in the 8th. The ball 4 is not close.
Go back to the 6th inning. Bobby Witt Jr., the difference in this game was his RBI single, and it all came down to the speed. Look at this real-time 32 feet per second. Get down the line, beat this out to score a run. And you look at it from the perspective. Jordan Westberg up the middle, sprint speed almost 32 feet per second, home to first, 4.14 seconds. I love the animation, by the way.
The Avatar guy, right?
Yeah. Video game.
Royals turned to bunt. Garcia didn't get it down.
You know, it shouldn't be a surprise, Jess, that Bobby Witt is getting down the line that fast. StatCast tracks what they call bolts. That's times down the line at 30 feet per second or more. The second player in Major League Baseball this year is Jeremy Pena with 104. The best player, Bobby Witt Jr. with 150. He is not just the fastest player in baseball in average sprint speed, but he does it consistently. And he talks about how important it is to show his teammates the effort of a superstar running down the line as hard as he does.
All out all the time. He would have run just as hard if it was in mid-July in a 10-0 game.
Yeah, that's just how he is wired.
Garcia twice has not gotten the bunt down. Are they going to leave it on? He's turned as if to bunt, and he strikes out. Matt Potrero stuck with the bunt. They led the American League with 23 sacrifice bunts this year. We talk about how they play small ball. That time it didn't work.
Well, I don't understand this. I mean, look, watch the barrel of the bat. I mean, it never got out in front of home plate. You see the angle right there? The angle never got out in front, where if you make contact with the ball, at least you're going to be able to look at the angle. The angle is pointed fair, or foul, I should say, and that's exactly where the ball goes.
Do you like the decision to leave the bunt on with 2 strikes?
I mean, you figured the third time would be the charm, right? I mean, 3 shots to get it down?
I don't know. You have speed at first base.
I mean, and this is a team that's got the 5th most sacrifice bunts in baseball. So, I mean, it's something they do all the time.
Drew French to the mound. They're going to send Tommy Pham up to pinch hit. I'm a little bit surprised by this, too. With the lead, you're going to take Michael Massey, an excellent defensive second baseman, out of the game.
Good point.
Also has 2 hits. Scored your first run back in the first inning.
I don't understand. So here's Pham, who started in right field yesterday and went 0 for 3. He's been a good postseason player. He's now played a postseason game for 5 different teams. His appearance for the Royals yesterday, the Cardinals, the Rays, Padres, Diamondbacks, and Royals. Batting for Massey with Isbell at first.
It's all about matchup. The way that Pham does against left-handed pitching, they're looking for more throttle on the offense.
I think the way this whole series has gone, I'd lean more on the defense. Now, right on cue, Pham will probably park one. He chops one over the mound. Grabbed by Henderson. And it's an out. Westberg lost it on the exchange. So Isbell erased 6-4. And Pham safe on a fielder's choice with 2 outs here in the 8th inning.
That is some athleticism right there by Gunnar Henderson. This is 6'4", folks, 225 pounds, ranging hard to the glove side. And watch him shovel this ball across his body. The perfect flip to Westberg. See the ball pops out, but that's
challenging the out call at second base.
I mean, ball came out of the glove. It looked like to me it was on the transfer. I mean, it looked like the catch was made, so it should have been out and then on the transfer, but the Royals want to take a look at it.
Transfer and the turn. You're going to see.
Replay review powered by Zoom.
You're going to see not just the catch, but he'll go to turn. That's when it comes out.
Let's see. Yeah, that looks like a catch to me.
The call on the field is confirmed. The runner is out. Kansas City has 1 challenge remaining.
Tyrone Blanco's come on to run at first base for Pham. Brendan Hyde is on his way to the mound to make a pitching change. If this goes into extra innings and goes for a while, they're going to summon Ben McDonald.
The trainers will be pitching by then.
2-1 Kansas City. We're in the 8th. Once these wild card series wrap up, the divisional round starts on Saturday. Quadruple header starting at 1 Eastern. All 4 series will be underway. The American League Series will be on TBS and the National League on Fox. Highlights every night on MLB Network, of course, on ESPN as well. Here's Sir Anthony Dominguez, the 7th Baltimore pitcher. Was their closer late in the year after he came over in a trade. And he's on to get Bobby Witt. So often it seems like it happens. The big gun gets up there in the big spot.
Yeah, Sir Anthony pitched a 1/3 of an inning last night in game 1 of this 3-game series.
Struck out the only batter he faced, Salvi Perez, to end a Kansas City threat in the 9th. He inherited 2 base runners. So here's Witt with the pinch runner Blanco at first base.
Look strikeout for Blanco. 21 stolen bases as a pinch runner alone this season. 20 scored runs. It's the most in MLB.
How about that? 18 more pinch runner steals than anybody else in baseball. Here's Witt. Blanco wastes no time. Rutschman's throw, no chance.
This is what he's done. I mean, he comes into games, Sean, and everybody in the building knows exactly what he's going to do. But look how much he steals it by. I mean, it's not even close. I know the throw's high, but it's automatic.
When everybody in the ballpark knows you're going to take off and you steal it that easy, that's some big-time speed.
They can be careful with Witt with first base open. They have a left-handed hitter, though, in Pasquantino on deck. 332 led the majors. Third different man to win a batting title in the American League for Kansas City. George Brett did it 3 times. Willie Wilson the other. Check swing. Strike, said Nick Wentz, the first base umpire.
Looked like a slider just stayed up, and yes, he did. Royals 2 for 6 today. Runners in scoring position.
Already left 11 men on base. Check swing. He fought off a tough pitch. They've left men on base in each of the first 6 innings. And they had a runner on in the 7th. But Hampson, the pinch runner, was caught stealing. Runners in every inning. Just the 2 runs. Dominguez ahead. 1 ball and 2 strikes, and he struck him out. A lot of maneuvering by Matt Cotrero in the top of this inning. So Dairon Blanco stays in the game at left. Garrett Hampson has moved from left field to second base. Played in 24 games this year at second base. And here's Chris Bubich, the 5th Royals pitcher, who was a part of that combined shutout yesterday. He pitched 2/3 of an inning yesterday. Gave up a walk and a single. Left 2 runners behind in the 8th for Lucas Erceg, who got them out of that jam. Greeted by Heston Kjerstad, up for the first time. Came in for Colton Cowser, who left with a hand injury. Kjerstad got into the game as a pinch hitter last night. Line drive caught. Little looping liner caught behind second base by Bobby Witt Jr.
Yeah, it looked like Kjerstad caught this breaking ball right off into the bat. You can hear it crack right there, but Bobby Witt Jr. in the perfect position.
Here's Adley Rutschman. A single in 3 trips today, and a knee-high strike. Orioles down to their final 5 outs. Rutschman asked for his timeout. They're 5 outs away from their 10th straight postseason loss, going back a decade. Swing and a miss and an off-speed pitch.
Changeup that almost cut. A lot of times you'll see the changeup with run. Bubich can manipulate that pitch. He gets it to go in to Adley.
And he slices one out of play. Still 0-2. Rutschman with Austin Slater on deck. Lugo, Serpa, Schreiber, Long, and now Bubich. Backdoor breaking balls way outside. Chopped slowly to the shortstop with plenty of time to get Rutschman. 4 outs remaining for the Orioles. And it is silent. They apparently did a recount and they found 2,000 more people. They announced that the attendance was 38,000. 698 corrected it from the original 36,000.
Here are the concessions.
Maybe we had some late arrivers.
Here's Slater. Line drive and a base hit. So the tying run is aboard. Slater came in as a pinch hitter.
Jumping first pitch is what's helped the Baltimore Orioles when they do it. They've been very patient, kind of waiting till they get to 2 strikes, which has not found a lot of success. This is his first pitch slider, left a little bit more up. Austin Slater, a beautiful job to not start this game, but gets on 2 outs here in the 8th inning.
He struck out as a pinch hitter in the 6th inning. Ground ball to short, routine play for Witt. Mountcastle grounds out. Witt involved in all 3 outs. They want to try someone else. We go to the 9th. Kansas City still leading 2-1, trying to sweep this series. 2024 Wild Card Series presented by T-Mobile. 5G home internet. Get internet how you want it. Sean McDonough, Jessica Mendoza, Ben McDonald, and Jeff Passan. We're in Baltimore. Royals leading 2-1 as we go to the 9th. Trying to sweep this best-of-3 series. Sir Anthony Dominguez high with ball 1 to Vinny Pasquantino. For those of you tuning in expecting to see the Mets and the Brewers here at the bottom of the hour, they are currently on ESPN2. They'll shift over here when this one is over. Knee-high strike to Pasquantino's had a good night. RBI single in the 1st, another single in the 5th, and he walked in the 6th. 1 strikeout along the way as well. Perez and Gurriel do up. Gonna pitch way inside.
And he's had 2 hits back in the 1st inning. This is the first run of the ball game. Infield pulled in. Very classic Kansas City finding the way in. In the 5th inning, he added another one. Found the grass there, and he's had a really good night. We talked about the thumb, the surgery, the plate that he's got in it. He talked about the bat speed pregame to Jeff Passan and how much he feels so good, and he can't even take swings, guys, before the game, but his swing has looked really good.
Yeah, he's got swelling in his hands, so they're trying to limit his reps.
Challenging the call of no hit by pitch on the field.
As we go to the replay room, we'll remind you that this replay review is powered by Zoom. Pasquantino making the claim it got a wrinkle on his pants.
Ooh, and it might have.
If you were baggy your pants, he'd definitely be on first base.
Just a few more squats. Quad.
Does the left thigh, the pants on the left thigh, does it move right there? Watch right. See that right there?
The call on the field is confirmed. The batter was not hit by the pitch. He will remain at bat.
Pasquantino isn't saying anything to the home plate umpire Ben May. Dominguez fires, and it's down and in. 3 balls and 1 strike. Dominguez trying to keep the Orioles within 1 run. They have the 8-9-1 hitters due up in the 9th. Mullins, Urias, and Henderson. Hit foul into the upper deck on the first base side. And now Pasquantino asks for his timeout.
Okay, reset.
His return huge. Obviously productive today, but just in the whole dynamic around their team with Vinny back in there. He's out on a pop-up to the shortstop, Henderson. 1 out. The Orioles are going to come back and win this one. They'll be making history. They're 0-10 all time when trailing, entering the 9th inning of a potential elimination game. Breaking ball in for a strike to Perez. 1 for 3, a single. He was hit by a pitch. He struck out twice. Waving swing at a pitch way outside. What a career for Perez. Leads all active catchers in homers, runs batted in. 273 and 916 respectively. 5 times a Gold Glove winner, 9 times an All-Star. I'd say that sends you on your way to Cooperstown.
An MVP of the World Series doesn't hurt either.
Back in 2015. By all accounts, a high character guy as well. He hits a line drive to left, and it'll be caught by Kerstad. Two outs here in the 9th. And plenty more action tonight. Coming up in less than an hour, Fernando Tatis. Another home run yesterday. 3 in his postseason career. The Padres trying to close out the Braves on ESPN2. What atmosphere there last night. Wow, what a crowd. Slashing swing and a high pop-up by Yuli Gurriel. It'll be close. It's over the Royals dugout. 0 for 3 with a walk for Gurriel. Hard to believe, as much as we've seen him in the postseason in recent years, as good a player as he's been, he spent most of the year in the minors.
Yeah. 40 years old now. How about that?
Back in the postseason. Jordan Westburg under it. Well, the pitchers have done their job throughout this series on both sides. Can the Royals shut down Baltimore for one more inning? Henderson will hit third in the 9th. Lucas Erceg, the new pitcher.
It's Brewers game 2 underway on ESPN2.
Yeah, keep your eye out on how the Mets go against Frankie Montas, who has had some struggles as of late.
Sean Manaea on the mound for the Mets, who are trying to sweep the Brewers. Milwaukee trying to extend this series, Sean.
Indeed, the Orioles are, and they'll try to do it against Lucas Erceg, who finished them off yesterday in his first postseason appearance ever. He pitched an inning in the 3rd of hitless and scoreless relief to earn the save. Greeted by Cedric Mullins, and Erceg missed just inside for ball 1. Yeah. Mullins homered for the only Orioles run in this series in the 5th inning. Strike at 99 miles per hour.
Yeah, it's 2 and a 4-seam fastball, that slider, and a changeup as well. Probably his best pitch is that slider. Currently hitting 123 off the slider this year.
Broken bat, slow chopper to second. Hampson on to Gurriel for the out. Orioles 2 outs away from their season being ended via a sweep in their first playoff series for the 2nd year in a row. Last year they'd have to play in the wild card round because they were the division champs. Won 101 games. They were swept by Texas in the division series. Ramon Arias 1 for 3, singled in the 5th against the starter Lugo. Popped up by the Baltimore dugout. Perez doesn't have a play.
Yard sale here, pal.
What a story Erceg is. Started out in the Milwaukee Brewers organization. He was a 2nd-round pick back in 2016. He was a 3rd baseman. Played 4 seasons there. Didn't really hit enough. Didn't play at all in 2020 when the minor leagues got wiped out by COVID. And returned as a pitcher in 2021.
How about that? And not just a pitcher that can hit triple digits. Like, what are you ever doing over at third base if you can throw 100? Just go get on that bump, young man.
We talk about the great acquisitions during the year. Here's a guy who came over from Oakland. Down to third. The Royals are 1 out away from victory as Garcia threw out Arias. But the Orioles will get one more swing from their best player, Gunnar Henderson. Quite likely going to finish in the top 5 in the MVP, balloting the Rookie of the Year last year. Henderson doesn't have a hit, 0 for 6 with 2 walks in the 2 games. Swing and a miss. The ball and a strike.
That's just good old-fashioned country hardball right there. My best against yours.
And they're down to their final strike.
That's not fair, is it? 99 up in the zone. He pulled the string, 91 changeup at the bottom of the zone. Now, if you're Gunnar Henderson, you have no idea what's coming.
The pitch. He struck him out. And the Kansas City Royals move on to the division series. This improbable season.
Everything we've seen from Kansas City throughout the regular season, how they get things done. Strong starting pitching. The bullpen came in huge in this series. We saw the defense flash in the glove, left field, second base, and just the timely hitting. Not a ton of it, but enough of it.
7 2/3 scoreless innings from the bullpen in the 2 games.
Yeah, I tell you what, Herseg did it yet again. 23 pitches yesterday, picked up his 11th save as a Royal, and he did it again today.
And there's a guy in the middle of the year who was an Oakland A. Not even thinking about getting anywhere near the postseason. Another big acquisition. And the Kansas City Royals, who lost 106 last year, the most ever by a team that made the playoffs the next year. Not only make the playoffs, they march on. And the Baltimore Orioles have lost 10 straight postseason games in a row.
Yeah, this Royal team reminds me a lot of the Texas Rangers. Remember, the Texas Rangers had a lead in the West last year. They stumbled down the stretch, didn't finish strong. And if you look at the Kansas City Royals coming into this, they were 4-9 in their last 13 games. Lost 3 of their last 4 series when the season ended, and yet they come in here and sweep the Baltimore Orioles.
I just love the reaction from Salvador Perez that we just showed. I mean, just the absolute emotion. He has seen everything, the full circle of this entire team. Bobby Witt Jr. gets to continue to play one of the best players in the game.
And credit Matt Quatrero managing in the biggest game of his life. Just his 2nd year as a major league manager at age 50, longtime coach. 5 years prior to his time in Kansas City with Tampa Bay. Learned a lot about ways to maneuver in big games. You know, he made some moves that we questioned, but all it matters is they all worked out.
Yeah, I mean, the 5th inning was the game for me. I mean, the Orioles tied it with Cedric Mullins. He led off with a home run, and then all of a sudden you get a base hit, a walk, and an error on the pitcher, Lugo. So the bases are loaded and nobody out, and yet the Orioles couldn't find a way to push home another run with the bases loaded and nobody out.
It was almost as if the wind went out of their sails a little bit when they couldn't score in the middle innings. They're a team that relies on the home run. Their only run in this series came on a homer. Here's Jeff Passan.
Here with Bobby Witt Jr. and Vinny Pasquantino. Bobby, you just said these shirts don't come around often. What does this win mean to you?
It's just what this team's made of. Just one day at a time, that's our approach, and we just try to control what we can, just try to go one out at a time, 27 times, and that's really all there is to it. This group is special here. We're not done yet.
Bobby, 2 playoff games for you, 2 RBIs. When you signed with this team in the offseason for 11 years, you envisioned a playoff run like this. What does this mean to the city of Kansas City as well?
This is unbelievable. Like I said, whenever we're in the offseason, when we go to Fan Fest, we want to make a run in blue instead of red, so here we go now. We're making our run.
And Vinny, you're coming back after missing a month, your second game back, that first inning RBI. How does the thumb feel and how does the swing feel?
Feels great. Both parts of that question feel really good right now. So, yeah, couldn't be happier to be here.
Vinny, you guys get to go this Saturday to Yankee Stadium, face Garrett Cole in Game 1 of the Division Series. What is that experience going to be like for you and this team?
Just keep doing what we're doing. I mean, he keeps saying it all the time. We didn't come this far to come this far. So we expected to come in here and win these games. We did that. Like he just said, too, job's not done. We're going to celebrate this tonight. We're going to have a good time, and we're going to be ready to go on Saturday night.
First playoff appearance for the Kansas City Royals in more than almost a decade. And they're victorious here in Baltimore. Sean, back to you.
The return of Pasquantino huge, but the constant presence of Witt driving the bus for Kansas City. He had the game-winning RBI in both games. He's the second player at age 24 or younger to have the game-winning run batted in each of his first 2 games of a postseason since runs batted in became official in 1920. The only other man to do that, Jimmy Fox. He continues to do things that nobody's ever done, or very few have done, and he's 24 years old. He'll lead them to New York to take on the Yankees. The Royals went 2-5 against New York in the regular season. The matchup's all set. Again, 2 more sweeps in this best-of-3 round, mirroring the recent history. Final score, the Royals 2, the Orioles 1 for Jess Mendoza, Ben McDonald, Jeff Passan, our great crew led by Jeff Define and Billy Proctor. Sean McDonough saying so long from Baltimore. Let's send you now to Milwaukee. The great playoff action continues. The Brewers trying to stave off elimination against the Mets. Here's Boog Shambi.